Okay, so today we have Theresa Grzybinski with us, and she has been my friend for 100 years. I've known her longer than my husband, right?
Yes, that's so crazy.
Yes. So she is first and foremost my friend, but she is really, really ridiculously smart when it comes to parenting and I just want to say therapy in general, but you're actually a clinical social worker and a therapist, have been for years, and then stopped doing it for a while to be a mom, to really
Yes,
focus on
I did.
your momming. So you have that experience, and now you're back in practice. And I just feel like in this time of my life with a 12-year-old and a 16-year-old, I want more of Theresa in my life. Like I need more guidance and counseling and therapy and all the things. And so I am using this as an excuse to have you share your knowledge with everybody else because I can't be alone in this struggling phase of life.
Absolutely not.
So
Yeah. I got 16 and 18, so
you're
there with you.
there, and a boy and a girl,
Yep, boy
same
and
as
a
me.
girl. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I figured we would just like, visit a little bit and let everybody else learn from all the things that you have to share with me and whatnot. So can you start by just telling us why you ever got into this field? And I had a good friend that was a therapist when I was when I worked at DU, and she was getting her master or her doctorate or whatever in psychology. And she joked, she said, all of us students are in therapy ourselves. Like there's a reason we are all in this. We got in this. And I feel that way about fitness, the same thing. Like you either had
Yeah.
an eating issue or a, exercise addiction, or you have some interest in the field is why you get there. So how did you
Yeah.
land where you are in
Yeah.
this field?
So it's funny. So my undergrad was in psychology, and I remember that. I remember in classes being like, I think I'm supposed to be a lot more messed up. A lot of these people have major issues. Maybe I'm doing something wrong. Of course, years later, I was like, oh, I have issues too. Good to know. Especially when I had kids. That's when a lot of ahas came of my own stuff. But so social work was a perfect fit for me because I like choices and options. I can't be narrowed down to one thing. So social work just gave me a lot of flexibility. And I worked in a few different realms, but really therapy just became a good fit because I like people and just understanding people and supporting people. It makes me feel good, them feel good, all that kind of stuff. So that's really what drew me to working with people and being in the trenches and all that.
Yeah. I remember that about you. Like her and I were roommates. Teresa and I were roommates.
Yeah.
And we were like three girls and a boy piled into this small house just down the street from where I lived for 100 years. And even back in the day, you just had this natural desire to like figure it out and help people like figure it out. Like you don't just
And
gloss over
and
it,
listen
figure it out.
and listening. Like I love
Oh
listening.
yeah.
So that's a lucky skill you definitely need as a therapist. So I do. I love like connections are great and hanging out is fun, but I'm like, and I love that, but I'm like, I much preferred like the deeper conversations with friends and
Yeah.
friends that really get to know, right? So
Yeah.
that's way more a passion of mine was really
Yeah.
working with
Do you know
people.
what just came to my mind is my friend Brandy. I think she met you at like a party that we had once, Brandy.
Yeah.
And she still asks about you. Like you guys must have just
Mhm.
had the most deep conversation in the middle of a
Oh,
party. You
oh,
just impacted her so much
that's
from
so
your
sweet.
listening is my
That's
guess.
sweet.
But okay, so you and I have talked a little bit about like the top things. Like if we had to narrow down how you could help us the quickest, the fastest, the most in depth. And you gave me kind of three things, but I want to read what you said about connection.
Okay.
You talked a little bit about Dr. Becky, being a somebody that I have referred to before. If anybody good inside is one of the books that she wrote. But this is what you said. I wanted to just read it because it was so. I just was like, oh my God, I've told Theresa 100 times, you need to just write a book. But this is what she said: connection is everything. We have no control over other humans, but we can absolutely influence them, kids, husbands, coworkers, and it's all about our relationship with them. I want to be in my children's lives way past when they move out. And the way I have the best chance of that is if connection with them is the most important thing, more than rules, expectations, consequences, etc. So can you talk to us a little bit about how you've established that as a foundation in your relationship with your kids and or any examples you have in your therapy with other
Yeah.
people?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So to be clear, these are lessons I've learned, and like you said, from Dr. Becky and other awesome people of connection. And I think some people hear that and they're like, yeah, yeah, I have a good connection, but it's so not only fundamental, but it's really hard to do, because in order to connect with your kids, it means you're really connected to yourself, you really understand yourself, and it means you accept wholeheartedly this human that may or may not act how you want, think how you want, have the same values as you, all of it. So connecting really means that you accept all of them and that you are constantly willing to work on yourself and that relationship. So I had a client just the other day who was like this. She had this aha where she was like, "Oh my gosh, I think my daughter's just like her whole a person, and she's 4." And I'm like, yep, like they come into the world a whole human with personality traits and thoughts and all these things, which is not what we were taught really. It was like, oh, your baby comes on in the world and you're going to impart your wisdom and teach them all your values and all that. And
Yeah.
that is not how it goes. And
Yeah.
once you accept that, it becomes a little easier. So I my son has been all kinds of fun learning growth for me. He's 18 now and getting ready to graduate high school. And he and I used to butt heads a ton about technology. That's his top priority in life. Massive fan, and there's so many good things about video games, and I had to get really on board with all of it. But we used to fight a ton about it because I was trying to set limits and rules and boundaries and all of those things. And that's important. Absolutely. Boundaries are important, rules are important, expectations, all of that. But what happened is that's all that was, those were all our interactions. Was I'm asking him about chores, or I'm, you know, arguing about technology, and I would check in about other things, but that was all his experience of me, was just that's all you care about is chores, and everything led to a fight about technology, no matter what I was trying to do. So I just remember deciding, what if I let this go? I don't know for how long. I don't know if that's the right thing to do, but I know arguing with him is getting in the way of any connection, of any joy. He definitely didn't enjoy being with me. I wasn't enjoying being with him. And I just stopped. I don't know how, because it was really important to me. Like it is like my nemesis, this technology. And it was magic, Jill. Like the transformation, that there was just so much room and space for me to enter his world and laugh, and he wanted to talk to me about things and tell me stories and whatever it was. It just allowed there to be space for me to really get to know my kid, instead of having most of our conversations around what I thought was really the best thing for his brain development and all of the things. So it was hard. It was this massive leap of faith to be willing to like not do what you're supposed to do and in all the right ways. But I knew I don't want him to leave and all we've done is argue about technology, and that's what we have. And maybe we talk and he grows up, maybe we don't. I wanted him to want to be with me. So
That is
this
crazy
is the big
because
one.
I bet you, I don't know what percentage of mothers listening to this right now are going to be like, yeah, we didn't grow up with technology.
Yeah.
And now technology is getting in the way of our lives with our kids and everything else. How old was he when you, I don't want to say gave up, because you didn't give up. This
I
story has,
feel
I
that.
mean, you've
Yeah.
already told us the happy ending, but also he turned out
Yeah.
great.
Yeah. Yeah.
You didn't ruin him
Exactly.
by giving up.
That's another big thing that helps me is trusting that it will be okay. Your listeners are involved parents, right? We care, we love our kids, we're learning about ourselves, we're willing to listen to podcasts and read books and show up and try and experiment. Those of us that are doing all of that, if a part of you could just be like, I'm not going to get it all right. There is no one way to do everything. There's no book that's going to tell you how you as a parent is going to positively make the best difference of your specific kid. It does not work that way. And I tried. And so if you can just also know that it will be okay, maybe not exactly in the ways you want, and your ideas may not totally come to fruition, but that's been a big piece of why I was able to let go, because I knew the most important thing for kids is that they have someone that loves them. That's number one. If they have
Yeah.
nothing else, So I'm like,
Right.
well, I can do that.
Hmm.
I might not get tech right and rules and chores and all the other things, but if I can love this kid, oh, and that just became the most important thing to me. So,
Yeah.
and after that, right? I'm not saying don't show up and don't have expectations and don't then go back in and try to do things, but if you don't have the connection, you really don't have influence. If you do, it's maybe because the kid fears you, or they just want to get you off their back, or
Right.
they're, I'll pay attention till can go hide and do it on my own way,
Right.
another way, or as soon as I get out of the house, see you later. I get to do my own, live my own life how I want. Like, I don't want any of that.
Right.
So that's why I was like, this is just the most important thing to me.
So that brings us to your one of the other pieces of this that you said to me was acceptance and trust.
Yeah.
And again, we're hearing it live from you, but I just want to read what you wrote to me because I, again, just loved how you put it. And it was just so profound. It's like a punch in the gut for me. And I want to read it. It says, what if you have the kid you have? Like, really, your kiddo comes into this world a full human being with their own interests and ways of being. And you get to be curious about who they are. And I mean deep acceptance, not just, okay, maybe they won't play sports. Like maybe they won't be involved in a single after school activity or won't ever be someone who wants to volunteer. Could that be okay? Trust is so freeing. What if you trusted that everything was going to be okay? Maybe not exactly as you hoped or in every way, but overall at the end of the day, what if we're doing enough and our kiddos will be okay? Trust that you won't get it all right, that there isn't a right way, and that even still it will all work out. I mean,
Ooh.
does that not just let you feel, I hope everybody that just heard that felt
Breathe.
like a big weight come off their shoulders. I mean, truly, as
Yeah.
mothers, we just put this weight on ourselves, like we have to do it the right way. And
Yes.
here we are, RT warriors, we're trying to reach our full potential. We're trying to help our kids reach their full potential. And we have these set rules or expectations or ways that we think it's supposed to be and that we're supposed to
Yeah.
do this, that, or the other thing. And I was actually talking online, sharing a little bit recently about Nadia's struggles in diving. She's a little like badass, like she's not afraid of anything, but a couple smacks, and all of a sudden, three dives that she had are gone. Like she doesn't want to do them. She's scared of them. She's in her
Yeah.
head about it. And, I was watching how the coach was handling this, and he kind of let her off the hook one day and said, yeah, you don't have to do them today. And the part of me that was like, no, you just got to make her do them. She's got to just do them. And then the other part of me is like, oh, yeah, you've pushed so hard, she'll be done. She won't want to do it anymore. Like he has to.
Yeah.
So I was just being interested in the fact that here's this guy and how many preteens and teens he has of girls, like the hormones going on in this place. And
Yeah.
he has to do each one differently.
Yep.
My last newsletter was about how different my two kids are, and so you can parent the same way. I have a good
Yeah.
friend who her brother is homeless on drugs, living in another state. They just are waiting for the call someday.
Yeah.
And they were raised by the same parents, and
Yep.
she's a successful,
Yeah.
anyway. So tell us more about letting go and how we can do that.
Well, even that example, like even accepting in that, what if part of your kid's journey involves drug use and homelessness? What if that you could still trust you're still loving them in whatever ways that needs to look, and this might be part of their path that you never wanted for them, and you would never wish this on anyone. What if even that might be someone that just turns out okay? And this might be rock bottom and horrible and hard, but you kept believing and doing your own work and being open. Who knows?
You're actually, and I don't know, I mean, you and I went to church together 100 times 100 years ago, and I don't know where your faith lies now, but that's what the Bible teaches us. I mean, anybody that's read about God in any religion that you're in, he asks us to just I got this.
Yeah.
Part of our test in life is just to trust that we are definitely, like you said, not in control.
Yeah.
And our job is to be curious about who they are, which brings me to another topic I want to get into with you, because you said something earlier about, I don't know if I was venting to you about some frustrations with Nadia or what, but you were talking about being curious and coming up with solutions to the problems involving her, like asking her for, I wonder why, I can't remember what we were talking about, but her response Oh, I remember. It was her, yeah, going to meet her friend and not telling
Yeah,
us who she was going to be.
yeah,
On she goes for bike rides and stuff. And instead of me going, oh, you did what? What? You were like, wouldn't it have been cool if you had been able to say, I'm curious. Why did you think you had to hide that from me? And you have to have the connection before you can
yes,
be curious,
yes,
because she'll notice my tone. She'll notice where this is coming from. And if I don't have that connection first, the
yep,
curiosity is just more judgment in her mind, I
yeah,
think.
yeah, yeah. Curiosity is awesome, and we use it in so many different ways, but a piece of it, it really is about genuinely being curious, not, oh, this parenting person said use curiosity and ask some curious questions. Like that's not it, right? So it is genuinely from a place of wanting to understand and know your kiddo better and know maybe yourself better. So some of it might even be, what made it hard for you to tell me that?
Yeah.
I don't always want to hear that, right? You have to be in a space that you want to know that.
Yeah.
But that's what curiosity is. It's not, why didn't you tell me? But what's made it hard for you to let me know? And then I
Yeah.
have to be willing to listen to that answer. And do I want to work on that? I don't have to
Mhm.
agree with what my child says, but that's what curiosity is. Or again, old school parenting, which a lot of parents still are in, is all about the behavior and how do we change the behavior and its consequences and rewards and punishments and all that. That's not really the way that most experts, which I'm not one of those, but the top people who've done the research and all the work, are like, that doesn't really work. And maybe it works in the short term or works them out of fear, but it's not really how you help change or influence behavior. It is the connection. And it's about being curious, what's the behavior about?
Right.
Why are they doing it in the first place? So when parents are like, help me, what do I do? And same thing I would do with my therapist. What do I do when my kid is X, Y, and Z? And we spend some time in that, but really it's, why is that hard for you in the first place as a parent? Or why
Hmm.
do you think they're doing that? And maybe sometimes, so I have a parent whose kiddo has meltdowns when she picks her up at school. Part of my thoughts on acceptance is, what if that's what happens? What if every day you go pick her up, she's going to have a meltdown? Because maybe that's where she's at developmentally. Maybe there's sensory things going on. So that's for curiosity or wondering out loud. What might it be? Is it the transitions? Like we don't know yet. But what if it was okay that that's how she needed to be? And you don't need to change it. You don't need to fight against it. And you don't need to control it. And why is that so hard for you as the mom? Of course it's hard. Nobody likes that, but there's reasons why it's hard for this mom. And someone else might be like, whatever, let my kid melt down and we move on. But
Yeah.
come out is, not only does this mom wonder about judgments from people, but she's judging herself.
Hmm.
This behavior must mean I'm a terrible mom.
Yeah.
My kiddo doesn't like me
Yeah.
because she doesn't do it when dad picks her up, so it must be me. So where if we can shift it into curiosity and being open and accepting, it's hard. It is a lot of sitting with being uncomfortable and not knowing what to do. And I've had, decades of experience, personal, professional trainings. I read every book you could. I don't have all the answers, and I sure didn't. So I definitely tried. I tried my hardest all the time in all the ways I can. And so again, some things work, some didn't, some is helpful, some isn't. That's not even the point. I kept showing up. I kept trying, trusted it would be okay, even when it felt like it wouldn't. And okay, now it is. Now I get to see it. Now I'm getting to see and feel. And not because it was all me. Also, that was my kid and things he's learned from other people in his life or teachers or coaches or whoever, right? It's not all on me,
Hmm.
but how much easier it is for me now to be able to say, I know this is helpful, guys. I know this is the real stuff because I'm getting to see it.
Yeah.
And man, we came from a very different place.
Yeah.
Really hard behaviors, intense school refusal, anxiety, anger. Like I was in the trenches. I was broken. It was as painful as it could be. And here we are.
Hmm.
My kiddo is going off to college and gotten scholarships and is a lovely human
He's
being.
sweet. Yeah.
Oh, sweet, the empathy,
Hmm.
and it just,
Because you loved him through it.
because I love
You didn't try to just fold him into some box.
I tried. And then I realized I couldn't, but two pieces. So loved him. Loved him fiercely. Oof, that kid, I just so much. But also, I loved myself. And that's something that my therapist, I remember, I spent years working with her. And yes, there were strategies and things, but so much of what she kept coming back to is, how are you taking care of you, Theresa? What are you going to do when all this stuff isn't working and everyone's, dysregulated around you? How are you holding on to you? How are you resourcing yourself? How are you talking to yourself? So that's now what I'm doing with my clients too, parents or not. How you are with yourself, your self-compassion, your kindness to yourself. Man, we're our worst critics.
Mhm.
And parenting brings it out so badly because we so desperately want our kids to be okay. And we must be us doing it wrong if they're not. So that's not true, but it feels that way,
Right.
right? So if you can really give yourself grace and accept your flaws and accept you're not going to know how to do everything and not get it all right. And some of that means you repair with your kids, and some of it means you connect with other moms so you don't feel crazy and overwhelmed. And some of it is just how do you love yourself and know you're trying your best.
Hmm. And that's all you can do.
That's all you can do.
So great. So in that realm of curiosity, being curious for your kids, also being curious for what it's stirring up in you and why. Can you
Yeah.
tell us some examples of whether you've learned it or you've seen a therapist or a client learn it, of what their
Yeah.
reaction to some particular behavior has taught
Yeah.
them about themselves?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, even like, when my kids used to argue, no one loves their kids fighting, but my husband wasn't as bothered by it as I was. And that's where I was saying, back in college, I'm like, I got no problems. And then I was like, oh man, I got all kinds of stuff I've carried with me. We all do. We all learn things as kids. We all have some experiences that kind of shape us. And so I realized, like, and again, my therapist helped me like tune in. Like, I would get so dysregulated. Like, as soon as my kids were arguing and nothing bad was happening, normal sibling stuff, I mean, I was a wreck internally, shaking and whatever. And then maybe I yell at them to stop, or I'm trying to control it, or I needed to, whatever it was, I needed it to be done. Part of that was me going, oh, okay, of course I wanted to interact and help them not fight, but I am getting triggered. This is stirring up my childhood where there was lots of yelling and fighting and it felt unsafe emotionally. So it bothered me way more than it might someone else. And so then my reactions are not helping them stop. My screaming at them
Right.
or needing to leave the room because it was so awful or whatever it was. So it's things like that where you kind of, I was working with a client yesterday and I was like, whenever you have some intense emotion, that's an invitation for you to look inward.
Oh, totally.
Why are you bothered by this? Beyond the obvious, no one likes X, Y, and Z, but why is it so hard for you?
Hmm.
Start with what's coming up physically. You can kind of notice physically what's going on and kind of tend to that, and then kind of get curious about, what is this bringing up? Is this feeling familiar? Is this reminding me of other times I felt like this?
Hmm.
Because part of what we do is our nervous system goes into a fight flight kind of mode,
Hmm.
freeze,
Yeah.
goes into these other modes, and we're reacting, and we're not choosing how we're reacting. We're just repeating maybe old patterns or old
Right.
behaviors or beliefs or whatever it is. So really getting curious about what's going on for us is why parenting really so much is about us and our stuff.
Yeah.
A huge thing for me was I do not like making decisions. I grew up in a military family. There's a right way and a wrong way. So I'm like, just tell me what to do and I'll do it. I was a good girl, a good student, followed all the rules. It was one of the hardest pieces of parenting, especially my oldest. And now my 16-year-old is fun in the learning journey. But I'm like, you can't just tell me what to do and I'll do it. I'll just read the book and then I'll do the thing. Like, just tell me what it is. I will follow. I will dutifully do whatever I'm supposed to do. And it wouldn't work over and over and over again. I'm reading from experts. I'm going to webinars and podcasts. And my husband's like, you're a therapist. You should know how to do this stuff. And I'm like, I know, but I don't. Like, it was so hard to figure out, like, there isn't a right way. And I'm therefore going to do it wrong and,
Right.
and have it not work. And I remember one time, like with my kid, just sitting on the stairs with him, and I tried whatever deep breathing, and I've regulated myself, and I'm doing the grounding activities, and nothing changed his behavior. And I was like, I'm doing all the things. I've read all the things they say to do with the extra hard behaviors, and it's not working. And it was just like a moment of, maybe a beginning moment of like, oh, is this the whole letting go thing? And it's not all going to work. There isn't a right way. I'm not in control. Could it still be okay?
Uh-huh. Oh, that we don't have a magic ball
No.
or whatever. But, I'm coming back to that, statement you made about like, what if they're not going to turn out to the picture you have in your brain, which was
Yeah.
never our role as their parent. Especially like I think about it all the time with Nadia. My role is not to shape her; it's to get out of her way for the most part.
I love that.
Her in particular.
Yeah.
Isaac, like with the curiosity thing, I think back to when he was in kindergarten. He came out of, or maybe it was first grade, but he got into the car he'd gotten in trouble in the carpool line,
Okay.
and he got in the car, and he was crying, and he was all mad. He got in trouble, and I was asking what happened, and because he was a good kid, and he'd gotten in trouble, and I can't remember why, but he also mentioned that they'd had cupcakes. I think I was just asking about his day, and they'd had cupcakes about for somebody's birthday or whatever. And I just wondered aloud. Now realizing now we had a connection still. We hadn't been through a season of button heads yet.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
I just wondered aloud. I was like, wow, that's the second time you've gotten in trouble lately after having sugar.
Ooh.
I wasn't judging. I wasn't saying
Yeah.
shame on you. Everybody had the cupcake.
Yeah.
But I just wondered it aloud. And I remember him thinking about that and saying, yeah. And I don't like how I feel. Like he could
Wow.
tell he didn't like how he felt. Now,
Yeah.
fast forward to Nadia. Oh my gosh, I've tried everything. I've tried
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until she saw the medical result that she was pre-diabetic with her A1C that
Oh.
she
Yeah.
decided, oh, I better clean it up. And
Yeah.
again, and she did, to her credit, she has cleaned it up. And she still,
Yeah.
you know, snuck some Easter candy the other day.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
and I will say, in trying to be good to myself, I was like, she'll leave the wrappers, she'll leave all the evidence. It's not like she's even
Yeah.
trying to hide it.
Yeah.
She's just not trying to get caught in the act. But anyways, I at first like wanted to just, and Allie too was there to kind of remind me.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I didn't blow up. I said, I don't know. I said something like, because I wanted her to know, I know, and look at me.
Yeah.
I'm not yelling at you. I'm not mad at you. I get it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm the same way. Tara used to have to hide the dried fruit from me because she'd ration it out in bits because I would eat too much of it and stink up the place. Like I don't do well with sugar either.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I very calmly just said, we can't serve that at Easter now. Or something. I just let her know I noticed it, but I tried not to get mad about it because I am really looking for opportunities with her right now to connect because I feel like we have the connection's been broken or damaged in many regards lately.
Yeah.
And so I'm trying to kind of repair that. And that is a possibility, right? Like
100%.
repair is a thing you can do. Like for the moms that feel like they're off the deep end and have ruined everything,
Yeah.
what can you tell us about the hope we have there?
100%. I love Dr. Becky, who is like, you could be in your 70s and your parent apologizes for something and it still feels lovely and is repairing, right? I mean, there's no limit to reconnecting and being willing to work on it. And here's what's kind of interesting about repair is not, I'm sorry that happened, but if you listened to me, then we wouldn't have had this happen. But parents are like, I did the repair thing you said. That's quite what it is.
I'm sorry, but it was your fault.
Yeah, exactly.
That's not repair.
Exactly. So, it's about, again, ourselves. It's about owning our mistakes. I'm sorry for the way that I handled that. I'm really working on that and I'm going to really try hard next time, right? It's genuinely owning our stuff. What a great model for kids. That's how we want them to do it when they are needing to apologize to someone, is take accountability for yourself. And for our kids to see, I'm not perfect. I wasn't given a manual, so I can apologize to you. I can own that and old school kind of thought that was sort of weak, but it's so empowering for kids to learn, oh, I get to be human and make mistakes. If my
Yes.
parent gets to, I get to. Yay,
Yes.
that's something I want my kids to know.
Yes.
There's another piece of parenting too, and just in your Easter candy story, like sometimes the teaching is us working on ourselves, but out loud.
Yes.
It's so hard for me when I have a candy. Oh, I think I'm just going to try and like not buy as much because I'm having a hard time.
Right.
If
Yes.
that's genuinely you, don't make
Yes.
that stuff. But a lot of it's stuff you want your kids to work on it yourself and
Out loud.
talk about it out loud. Yeah. Hopefully they listen. Hopefully they get it. But again, you're not in control of that. She
Uh-huh.
needed years and her own way of learning. Awesome. So part of it is working, being out loud, kind of saying things. And then another is you got to let stuff go.
Oh, it's so hard for me.
Yeah, it's so hard. But again, it's like, what's one thing you want to be working on, right? There are so many. Like I remember being overwhelmed. I'm like, is it chores? Is it, respect? Is it how you apologize? Is it sibling stuff? Is it schoolwork? Like there's so many areas that, as parents we want to influence, but it's like, what if you weren't focusing on all of them? Because then there's so many conversations, even if it's one little comment. And I could make 30 lovely comments. My kids here, you just
Yeah.
care about chores. That's all you care about is chores. All you talk about.
Right.
I'm like, that's not true, but that's what it feels like to
Yeah.
me. So it's like, okay, maybe is sugar the one and all the rest you kind of let go for a while,
Hmm.
right? And letting go does not mean you're validating their behavior or you're okay with what they're doing it, but it's a great parenting strategy to not always engage and
Hmm.
not always teach and not always be talking. And it's a choice to sometimes let go. And
Hmm.
you can address it later or in different ways, but it doesn't mean you're just saying it's okay. I'm not saying it's okay to do it because I'm not engaging with you, but I'm still choosing to not engage with you.
Right.
Those are different things.
Right. So I know we're bouncing all around, but you just keep stimulating things, ideas in my head. As far as like ways to connect with a kid, like the Easter candy option, for me to have admitted to her that also, by the way, this is, I don't buy candy because I can't control myself either, which we have
Yeah.
had that conversation many times that you get this from me.
Yeah.
So I can't really judge you. So that is an opportunity for connection. Last night
Yeah.
when she was leaving diving, she was upset about her performance or her practice or whatever. And the instinct in me or the old me wanted to just say, "Why are you upset? You'll just get it right next time." And instead I was just listening and I said, "I can see that this is very important to you. I can see that you're upset." And I actually then said, I said, "I like that you care this much. And that's what
Mm,
makes you so good at this is because, I was trying to find ways to
yes.
let her know that I see you, I understand. Oh,
Yeah.
that sucks.
Yeah.
But let her feel it. Let her
Yeah.
have her moment." And I did once we got in the car, I said, before we start listening to our Harry Potter book on our way home, I said, "I just want you to watch the videos I took and let me know what you think." Like I made her
Mm,
watch the videos and she didn't even make it through them all. She rarely watches the videos of herself. Like she doesn't care. She's just being her. But I made her watch some of them and I said, "What do you think?" And in fact, the conversation started because I said, "What did you think of practice?"
mm,
I asked her her opinion because I don't know. I think anyway. So, but once she watched the video, she did say, I said, "Do you feel like it was maybe better than you thought?" And I did. I led the witness there, but truly she did. And she hadn't watched all of them, but she said, "Yeah,
yeah.
she did really calm down." And I don't care. I mean, I care, but I'm okay with her being upset, right?
Yeah.
Like she's not performing at her best right now, and that is one of the reasons why I freaking love sports. Like you can't learn
Yeah.
this stuff in a book.
Yeah.
But it was an opportunity for connection. So, what are some other ways that moms that feel like they've lost connection with their kids, aside from finding ways to not yell at them when they want to? What are like a few more options of
Well,
that?
let me name one thing that you did there that is huge in all relationships is that you validated her feelings.
Mm,
We skip over that so easily because we want to then teach. Your lesson
yeah,
was fine. Let's talk about how good it was. Let's look at the
right.
videos, whatever it is. We want to
Yeah.
jump into the problem solving or the teaching or whatever. And Sometimes if you did nothing but you just reflected back what you think they're feeling, and you might not be right, but it looks like you're really upset. Maybe that's all I say.
Mm-hmm.
That's connecting. My
Mm-hmm.
kid feels seen. And maybe like, I'm not upset, I'm whatever. Like, that's okay. You don't have to get it right. But if you are willing to just sit in feelings
Hi.
for a lot longer than you want to, and
Yeah.
maybe you don't go to anything else after that, there's no other parenting, you just go, I see you. I feel what you're feeling.
Mm-hmm.
That matters to me. That's
Mm-hmm.
massive amount of connecting.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes that's all you're going to do. Connecting can be eye contact, a hug, high five, reading a book at nighttime. How was your day? So many small ways you can connect. And the little bigger ones are like, what do they like? Get involved in their world. Let them tell you about their TV show that you can't stand, or their video game, or sit with them and play it, or sit next to them, or ask them questions. And if they're annoyed by that, don't do that. Try something else. It's not like these are the only ways to do it, but especially, I forget who it is, but someone talks about parenting teens. You're like a plant, and you just sort of sit in the kitchen where they're going to be, especially in the evenings. You're doing your own stuff, or maybe writing some recipes or whatever, and listen, because then maybe they want to talk to you when you're not asking questions, or you're not trying to parent, and you give them your attention. You don't talk a lot. You don't say a lot. Oh, cool. Tell me more. So hard for me. I want to talk and I want to teach and share all the good wisdom I got. Um,
Totally.
but how connecting, like how awesome does it feel when someone just listens to you
Oh, yeah.
and
I
is
was just thinking we
interested in
should
you?
have our husbands listen to this. Or we should
Yes,
listen to it for our husbands.
yes, yes, yes. Everybody, right? All relationships, you want to be
Yeah.
seen and heard. So just getting involved in their world in whatever way that looks, asking
Mhm.
questions, getting curious, genuinely wanting to, not, oh, I'm supposed to ask you about your hockey game, not
Yeah,
that,
yeah,
like, what was that like? Or what do you think about that? Or just anything where you're just trying to spend a little time with them, and it's not about your expectations, and it's not about how can we work on any kind of anything. It's
yeah,
just genuinely getting to know these people.
yeah. Yeah. Isaac would talk about cars all day long.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll be driving down the street and he'll be like, oh my gosh. And he'll tell us how much horsepower it has and what the engine is and all this. And Allie and I will both be like, and Allie even likes cars. Like, I don't even
Yeah.
like cars. I don't even know what I
Yeah.
drive. It's gray. It's got
Yep.
four
Yep.
doors and a back seat, like a rose,
Yep.
But it's so hard for me to pretend like I'm interested, but
Yeah. Yeah. And so don't fake it for a long time because they can tell.
oh
Don't play
yeah,
sick.
yeah,
But maybe you just go, wow, you love
yeah.
cars.
That's what I do.
And that's it, right? That's connecting. That's I see you, I get how cool it is to you. And maybe even say, I don't even know how you like them so much. This is craziness. But how awesome for you. I'm so happy you're so excited about something.
Yeah, yeah,
Awesome. That's it.
yeah.
Done.
Just
Connected.
acknowledging who they are.
Yes.
Yeah, look
Yes.
how different God made you than me. I
Yeah.
mean, how weird that God gave me two such different kids.
Yep.
I love all of this, Theresa. I could
Yeah.
talk to you for years about all of this, especially the season that I'm in right now.
Yeah.
So tell everybody, I keep telling you, I'm gonna, I wish I could tell everybody when your book comes out because you've got a book that you need to write. But your business is called Kind and Brave Counseling. You're out of Texas, unfortunately. So unless
Yeah.
somebody is in Texas,
Resident. Yeah.
they can't hire you for your services, but you also offered, we'll put up your email in the comments, and there is a little bit about you online somewhere that they can learn more about you. I'll put that in the comment or in the
Yep.
notes section as well.
Yeah.
What parting words do you have for us, and what bits of encouragement do you want to leave us with?
Yeah. Number one, if you are here listening to this, you're in the top parenting. You're doing it right. Good for you.
You're trying.
Keep showing up. Keep trying.
Mhm.
And be kind to yourself. This is hard work.
Mhm.
And no matter what you're doing, it's going to be okay.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Thank you, my sweet
Yeah.
friend. Thank you for
Thank
being
you.
here and blessing us with all of your wisdom and knowledge. And I hope you all got something out of this because I sure did.
So good to see you.
You too, honey.